Hi, thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Stephanie Boyle, and I'm the Program Officer for History at Maryland Humanities, and I'm joined by my colleague Isabella, who I'll let introduce herself.
Hi, I'm the program coordinator for history at Maryland Humanities.
And today we are here to talk about volunteering with Maryland History Day. But first, I want to start off by talking about Maryland Humanities. Maryland Humanities is a statewide educational nonprofit. We provide grant supports to other humanity nonprofits, as well as several different types of programming that we run, like our One Maryland, One Book literature program, our Museums on Main Street traveling exhibit, which is done in partnership with the Smithsonian, as well as Maryland History Day, which is what we're here to talk about. Maryland History Day is an affiliate of National History Day, which is a nonprofit educational organization improving the teaching and learning of history. We'll use the term affiliate instead of states because we also include U.S. territories and international schools around the world. So each year, National History Day selects a theme for students to use when creating their projects. This year, the theme is Rights and Responsibilities in History. Additionally, students get to choose between working in groups or as individuals in one of five categories: paper, exhibit, documentary, performance, or website. And in our role as the affiliate for Maryland, Humanities organizes our state contest and works with school districts and teachers to provide resources to help them using History Day in their classroom.
Great. So we're going to look a little bit more closely at the History Day program, which is not a single day or a single event, but instead it is a year-long history research project. It's a curriculum used in schools across the United States and focuses on project-based learning for students from 6th through 12th grade. So it encourages students to create projects to learn skills and facts rather than taking a test or completing readings. Project-based learning has been shown to be a great way to teach students research and many other skills. The Maryland History Day program also provides assistance to educators throughout the state. We work with the Maryland State Department of Education to supplement professional development on project-based learning. Outreach staff visits classrooms and leads online and in-person courses for teachers. And finally, History Day is the name we give to a series of contests and showcases at the school, district, state, and national level. Usually, these are the final part of the History Day process for students, and the goal of the showcase or contest is for students to gain skills like public speaking. They also benefit from interacting with outside reviewers or judges who view their projects. Most judges know History Day as a statewide, district, or national event. However, most students are participating in the classroom. We visualize this using data from 2022, when we had 26,000 students participating in the program in Maryland schools. The district contests are run by district coordinators who support in-school instruction. So you can see that that's 26,248 students participating at the school level. And then the top project from each school are invited to participate at a district contest. So you can see that was 2,051 students. And the top two projects in each category and division move on to the state contest, which in 2022 was 483 students. And then the top two from the state contest move on to the national level, which in 2022 was 65 students representing Maryland.
So let's transition into talking about ways that you can volunteer and engage with Maryland History Day. This is something Maryland History Day takes place annually in early May at UMBC. And this year it's going to be on May 3rd. So the first volunteer opportunity I want to talk about is administrative help. So this is actually done at our offices in Baltimore City, and it's leading up to the actual contest in May. So this is things like stuffing packets that we give out to our students, helping us with labeling and making copies. As you can imagine, it's a big event, and so there's a lot of logistical work that we do to prep to get ready for that actual day of the contest. The great thing about this is that it's really flexible. If you don't have a ton of time, or maybe you're not available on the actual day of the contest, let us know, and we'd love to have you help us around our office. Um, the next opportunity that happens before the actual contest is project review. So with History Day, something that's really important is that students are able to change their projects as it progresses. And so project reviewers look at students' projects who participated in district contests and are advancing on to the state contest. After they have already updated their project using their judge feedback, this gives another set of eyes on their work. And this really helps them to be prepared and to look at those constructive critiques and improve the quality and competitiveness at the state level. This is also gives students an opportunity to sort of level their work with other students from around the state and provide some support to everyone, no matter where they're located. And so for this, we often look for project reviewers in late February, but mostly in March, once students have completed those district level contests to provide feedback. This is incredibly flexible. You can set your own hours. For example, if you're a night owl and you want to work on this at 11 p.m. before you go to bed, look at a couple projects, provide some feedback, you can absolutely do that. We'll more so set a date deadline where we want to have all your feedback to the students so that they have time to improve before their submissions are due for the state. We also find that a lot of judges also serve as project reviewers. So they love to get in depth with all the projects, and so they do both. We also find that often if a judge isn't available on May 3rd, this is a good way to keep them involved with the process, even though that they might not have that availability on the day of the contest. And then the other two opportunities are things that are actually on May 3rd. So that's really important that you have to have availability on that day. And the first one is a building monitor. So when we're on campus at UMBC, we divide up and we go all over the campus. And so we put people within each building to be able to help guide our students. Now, we know that you might not be familiar with UMBC. We actually aren't either. We're only there once a year whenever we set up for History Day. But by participating and as a building monitor, we'll give you all of the resources you need, maps, schedules. You'll have some time in the morning to set up, to walk around the building, familiarize yourself. So that way, if a student comes in the door and maybe they're running late or feeling nervous and they say, where is room 350? You can say, that is up on the third floor, the stairs are this way, the elevator's that way, and just help guide them in their experience. This is good if you just want to see what the day is all about. We also find that this is a great opportunity for some of our younger volunteers. So we often look for students at UMBC to help with this, but also if there's some late high school, early college students who want to help out, maybe you're planning on volunteering as a judge and you have a young college age student, you want to come out and volunteer as well. It's a great activity for that and provides a really great assistance on the day of, because try as we might, we cannot be everywhere on campus. And then the final opportunity is judging. Judges review projects, they interview students, they select winners to move on to the final contest, and they provide constructive feedback. And though today we're going to focus on our judge needs at the state level, know that there are judges that are needed at districts, so counties all throughout Maryland, as well at the national level. And their contest takes place in June, and we're very lucky that it's right here in Maryland at the University of Maryland College Park. So let's dive more deeply into what judges do for History Day. So judging is our absolute biggest need, and we try to drive the most amount of volunteers into judging. We have about 500 students who participate, and so we're looking for about 200 to 250 judges to help support that. So what are you actually doing as a judge? First up, you are reviewing projects. Judges work in groups of 3. And you will review about 5 to 8 projects, take notes about how it aligns with the rubric, and judging is done by consensus, meaning you'll work with your judge team to rank projects. Many judges have told us that this is their favorite part. They love that kind of like debate with the other judges as they're processing what all the projects are about. They really love that experience of being able to have that really in-depth time discussing the projects that they've been looking at. The next element of judging is interviewing students. So on the day of this contest, students will present their projects and you will have time to ask them questions. And while the interview doesn't count on their overall evaluation, it is an opportunity for you to better understand their work, their passion, why they did this, fun facts that they learned along the way, places that they did research. It really makes that connection with the actual work. And probably most importantly for us, it allows students to gain pride in their work and practice those presenting skills, which we know will be so important as they continue on in their education and into careers. And then lastly, and I would argue most importantly, judges write feedback. So giving feedback to students will allow them to see, one, that you gave time and attention to their work, and it will help them improve as learners. Receiving this information from outside sources, so not their classroom teacher, also helps to build a sense that they are historians receiving feedback from colleagues. We're starting to mirror how we want them to think about history and how they might advance in their careers. And this is something that cannot be skipped. It's so central to History Day, and the students will get this information and be able to use it to understand how they can improve. So I'm going to turn things over to Isabella to talk more about that rubric part of the experience.
So each History Day category has its own rubric, and these are created by the National History Day Office, which oversees History Day programs throughout the world. And these are the parameters on which you, the judges, would be evaluating each project. As you can see, there's space to mark off different rubric marks and then write in comments, which are labeled strengths and areas for improvement. So the historical quality section is the largest section and is comprised of 8 areas: historical argument, theme, wide research, primary sources, historical context, multiple perspectives, historical accuracy, and significance in history. The clarity of presentation section is comprised of 3 main fields made up of 3 or 4 checkboxes that cover specific project-specific criteria like technical aspects or student voice. So it'll change a little bit from a website category to an exhibit category because those are slightly different technically. Each judge will complete 1 evaluation sheet per project, and these will go back to the students for them to review and for them to be able to improve their work. And this is particularly helpful for students advancing to the next level, as it means that they have the ability to improve their work before they enter in the next contest, or students who might plan to participate the next year. However, it's really vital for all students to receive this feedback because it explains to them why they may not have advanced or where they could improve, but also what they did do well on.
So next up, I want to talk about time commitment. And it's something we like to be really transparent about when it comes to volunteering as a judge for History Day. While we are trying to gather a large group of people, judging is something that you cannot do without some level of training and preparation for the actual day of. So it really is a commitment, but hopefully it's a rewarding one. So first of all, we have put together a 40-minute training. This is a series of YouTube videos that Isabella developed. You have the ability to watch a couple, stop, walk away, come back, watch a few more. So we tried to build it in to what works within your time schedule, but also it's some place you can reference back to if you forgot an element of judging, or if you go through this process once and you want to understand better a certain area of focus. So there is a 40-minute training, and we do ask that be completed in advance. And then looking at time commitments, when you are judging a paper, a website, or a documentary, these categories are all pre-judged. And what we mean by that is that you will get the projects at least 2 weeks in advance. It's usually more like 3.5 weeks in advance. And you will spend time in advance of May 3rd reviewing each project. If you spend 30 minutes on each, that's about 3 to 4 hours of work done in advance. You'll want to take notes during that time and really get in depth with those projects. We then ask that you meet with your judge team virtually. We ask you to budget at least 1 hour for that to discuss the projects together as a team. And then we will ask the judge captain to submit those rankings into us in advance of the actual contest. And this is just a really important way to help the day go smoothly. We are going through a lot of content and information on that day. So the time commitment for papers, websites, and documentaries is a bit more and does require that you have some availability in April to be able to work on this. Now, if you don't have that extra time, which we totally understand, we would recommend signing up as an exhibit or performance judge. So the nature of these categories, it's too hard to be able to review the content in advance. And so for exhibit and performance judges, you'll do all of that on the day of the contest. So aside from training, everything will be done on May 3rd. So let's go ahead and look at the actual day of contest and how that breaks down. I've included a sample schedule on this slide, so you can feel free to look at that overview. It's a little flexible, but it is a good way to understand how the day will flow. So basically, we arrive at 8 a.m. During that time, we'll have breakfast for you and we'll have you meet up with your judge team. And after a brief orientation, you'll head to your building for the morning. Around 9 a.m., you'll start to see students, and that will last till about 11:30. After interviews, you'll confer with your judge team, finish writing up your evaluations, and you're going to turn everything in to me and Isabella before enjoying lunch. Now, for a lot of people, that ends their experience. So usually it's about an 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. experience on the day of. But we do have some judges that judge what's called the final round or the runoff round. And we often recommend this for experienced judges. So after you've had the opportunity to judge once or twice and you get a real handle for things. Or if you just have time and you feel really passionately, we do look for some judges that help out in the afternoon. And those are the ones who are selecting who is going to advance on to National History Day. We then conclude the day with an award ceremony at 3:30 where we celebrate the students and their accomplishments. This is not required for judges to attend, but we always love to invite more people. And I think you really get to see the joy and excitement of what History Day is for the students. So to wrap this up, why volunteer? Hopefully, you know more about volunteering now, and I want to make sure you hear from our students about what was so rewarding for them about this program and about Maryland History Day specifically. So you can view some quotes here from past students, and we asked them the question, what do you like most about History Day? Our students take such pride in their work, and often our volunteers represent the careers in the humanities and history fields that they might aspire to one day. And we're looking to build a diverse group of judges to reflect our student participants, bring relevant experience and expertise, and have a shared love for history and research. So just to conclude, these are ways that you can stay in touch with us. Myself and Isabella's email address is on here. We'd be happy to do a presentation or come out and talk to any colleagues that you might have who are interested in volunteering, who are just even in this field. We're happy to expand this or adapt it for your needs. Just please let us know. And we can also share with you our call for judges and ask if you can share that with your colleagues and your network. We'd be so grateful. And then we have some QR codes here and links for, most importantly, how to sign up to actually volunteer on History Day. You'll be asked to create an account on ZFairs, which is the website we use to manage the contest. You can also sign up to be a project reviewer if you want to help out in advance of the contest. And then lastly, just a place for you to be able to learn more about History Day and all of the work that we do. Thank you so much for giving us your time this afternoon. We really appreciate it. And you know how to be in touch with us. Thank you.